Hello, guys, and welcome back to a new buy, hold, sell video on our channel FPL Nerds. My name is MJ.
My name is Timo, and today we're gonna go through the usual player list of buy, hold, sell. So let me explain the categories really fast. So buys are players that performing well or have a good set of fixtures that we think it could be a good investment for your FPL team. Hold are just players that are maybe not performing very well right now, or maybe have a few bad fixtures, but we think they could be a good hold for the future. And sell are basically pairs that are not performing very well or maybe have really bad fixtures, so we think you should get rid of them and get somebody else for your team. So let's check out who the players we have for you today.
All right, then. So the first buy for the week will be none other than Wilfred Zaha. The time has finally come that we should all get him into our teams. Crystal Palace, they've been having really tough fixtures ever since the beginning of the season. And tempting players like Zaha were not very accessible due to the very tough fixtures. However, now let's look at the coming fixtures that are ahead. Zaha will have Leeds at home, Leicester away, Wolverhampton at home, and Everton away. We can argue and say Everton away is slightly difficult, but showing the form that Zaha had so far and the goals he scored against some big names in the Premier League, I believe he's a great asset. And even if you take a look at his touch map, basically he owns that left wing and with the new style of Patrick Vieira, with those three midfielders, him, Olise, and Eze, they're absolutely crazy. They're inventing passes on the spot. No, obviously not, but they've been practicing a lot during their practice sessions, and it shows during the match. They are a refreshed Crystal Palace team, and I cannot wait to see more of them, how they're going to handle this in the coming fixtures.
Yeah, I actually got Zaha from even last week, even with the Chelsea match. I know we wouldn't get anything from him from Chelsea, but I got him basically for this beautiful run of fixtures of Crystal Palace from game week 10 on. He's the talisman of Crystal Palace. Basically, everything goes through him. He's also on penalties, so I think Zaha could be a great asset for your FPL team for the next 4, 5, or even more. So let's hope he all do good for us. And also his
Uh,
underlying, sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead, go ahead.
His underlying stats are not super, but they're also not bad. Of course, he's more his XG is higher than his XA because he's focused more on goals than assists. So
Mhm.
I think that even numbers will even improve in the next few fixtures.
Yeah, actually, let's also keep in mind that he scored 4 goals, but actually he did not play the all the matches. Let's not forget that
True.
there were 2 matches in which he didn't play. There was the full game week 7, which was postponed, as well as he had another match in which he did not play due to his injury.
Yeah.
So keeping in mind that he scored 4 goals out of the 7 matches, and all the stats, including the touches in the box and everything we have on the screen here, are cumulative from 7 matches only. I think it's not that bad.
Yeah.
And with
Actually.
the coming fixtures, I can only expect them to improve.
True. True. Actually, yeah. To put this in consideration, they're actually not that bad. You're right.
Mhm.
Okay, great. So Zaha is the first one. Let's check the second one. Okay, so the second one on the buy list is Madison. I think Madison is already part of a lot of FPL managers because of his really good run of fixtures that we have in front of us on the screen, especially the next one, which is Bournemouth away. And then they have Crystal Palace at home, Leeds at home, and then Wolves away. So it looks pretty decent from the attack perspective. We all know that defensively they're still not there, but if we talk about attacks, I think they're pretty good. Especially Madison because he's kind of the talisman of Leicester currently. He's one of the most active
Mhm.
players on the field. He likes to shoot from outside the box and he's very good on set pieces. He actually got one of the goals in the last match from a very nice shot from a set piece. Plus, you have the corners, which is always a plus. And overall, I think Madison could be a very good investment to our FPL teams for the upcoming fixtures. Overall, his stats are okay, still not great, but I think they will even improve in the next coming fixtures. And he has already have 5 goals and 2 assists to his name, so pretty good track record so far for the first 9 games.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with that. And to be honest, there's not much I can add to that. All I can say is that he's definitely the brain behind most of their attack. And not just this season, not just last match. He's been constantly doing this for the past few seasons. He's been the number one creative player for Leicester City. And I don't expect him to stop right here. He will continue doing that. And with the risk of repeating myself, let's not forget that Madison is a very streaky player, and in the last two matches he scored. So I'm expecting him to carry on with this. Usually he keeps his good form for
For a
five,
while.
6 game
Yeah.
weeks, then it disappears again for another five, and so on. So the thing with Madison, he's usually not a wait and see player. You either have him from the very beginning, or you
Yeah.
wait until his next run of form.
Yeah, and the next fixtures that are coming up are will help him to have this good
Yeah,
run
definitely.
of goals and assists. All right.
Definitely. And even the in terms of XGI, I know you said that there it's not that high, and indeed it's not that high. But if you look at it, it's 0.43, and considering they had bad fixtures till now, once again the same as Zaha, I'm expecting these numbers to go up.
Indeed, indeed. All right, so this is for the buy for this week. Let's see who we have on the hold.
All right then. So our first player in the whole category will be Ivan Toney. Now I know many of the managers have been quite disappointed that 3 matches ago he scored a hat trick and everybody transferred him in. Then he had two blanks, one with Arsenal and the last one now. And even in the last match, actually, I would say that he had a couple of chances. He did not have an amazing match, but he did have a couple of good chances. And if we look back even at last season, he was never the streaky kind of player that keeps scoring many goals in a row. He has those moments he can blank for 2 game weeks and then he can score a brace or a hat trick or a single goal and so on. And now looking at the fixtures that they're coming, they're a bit tricky actually. Looking, we have Newcastle away, Brighton at home, Chelsea at home, and Aston Villa away. But look at his price point. Okay, he costs 7.3, and if we look at the alternatives that we have, they're not that many. So this is, in my opinion, this is the main reason why he's a hold. The fixtures are not that bad. Yet in the same time, the alternatives are Mitrovic injured, Isaac injured, Wilson. We still don't know whether he's going to be rotating with Isaac or what exactly is going to happen. Martial, I think it's way too early to think about him yet. And starting game week 14, I think he will be a golden asset. But for the time being, I truly think that Tony is a hold. And if you look at his underlying stats, it's not that bad actually. With 0.57
Yeah.
XGI, I think it's pretty decent.
Yeah, yeah. I think if you already have Tony for now, I think you should hold him for at least the next two or three, see how it goes, and then if it doesn't really work that well, you can always switch into any other option that you mentioned
Hmm.
already. You already have like 5 goals and 2 assists to his name, so that's not bad at all. Overall, I think Tony could be a good asset, but not the greatest asset. So that's why we're saying it's a hold for now, and reassess later in a couple of matches if he starts scoring or not.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And last thing, if we take a look at the heat map, he's actually quite active on the left side. He always goes into the box, and as you mentioned, he already had a couple of chances in the last match against Bournemouth. So he gets
Hmm.
into these positions when he can score from it. But then, of course, he needs a little bit of luck and a little bit of quality, of course, to get these goals. So
Exactly. And maybe some penalties as he's the one shooting them.
true, that's always a plus to have penalties. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
So overall, I think Tony is a good hold for now, and then we reassess in a few weeks.
Hmm.
Okay, great. So let's move on to the next one on the hold. Okay, guys, so the second hold we have for you today is actually Luis Diaz. So I know that a lot of FPL managers have already lost faith in Liverpool because of the form that they have right now. But hear me out. If we took a look at all the players that Liverpool have, I think Diaz is one of the most active ones and the one that, like always, to get from the side, dribble through players, and then whether pass it to a teammate or maybe try to shoot. And he usually gets successful in these. So I think if you're gonna choose any player from Liverpool, it could be Diaz. It will save you at least like 4 or 5 millions from Salah, for example.
It's
And
4.7 millions on this switch.
yeah, so that's a lot of money you can use somewhere else to upgrade your team. And defensively, if we take a look at Trent, for example, they are very bad defensively so far. So I wouldn't go near Trent now unless we start getting him for the game week 12 when the fixtures start to be a little bit better for Liverpool. And last night in Champions League, they actually won against Rangers, and Trent scored a beautiful goal from a set piece and a penalty for Salah. So
Yeah, indeed, it was.
yeah,
No, sorry, carry on.
just yeah, you can say your
All right,
point.
so indeed, it was an amazing goal and everything, but once again, I wouldn't get Trent just for the fact that he scores some free kicks. If he does that, I will just get Trippier. Okay, so Trent, okay, he delivers those free kicks. He scores a goal every 6, 7 matches or so, but his price point of 7.5, considering he has no clean sheets or just one clean sheet, it's definitely not worth it for me.
Yeah, I
At least
understand.
not now, not with these fixtures. Starting game week 13, I can definitely see a double game week 12. I can definitely see a double up with Diaz and Trent. But for the time being, not just yet.
Yeah, yeah. And looking overall, the stats are not super, but as I said, he's still one of the most active players in Liverpool. Even when he got in the last Premier League matches, like after mid game, because he was coming back from international duty, so Klopp wanted to rest him a bit. He did change things a bit, and he was getting more energy into this team. And his price point is 8.1, so it's always easy to move him to any of the other options that we have in the same category, like
Hmm.
Madison, like Bowen, like all the other, like Saka, for example. I know that the next two matches are quite difficult because they have Arsenal and Manchester City. Although I think Arsenal are still a team that can concede some goals from Liverpool,
Yeah, yeah.
and
They're amazing attacking wise.
yeah.
However, defensively, yes, they're not bad at all. They're quite good actually, but I wouldn't say they're unbeatable.
True, true. And if Liverpool like wakes up a little bit, they can actually do some damage. So
Yeah, yeah.
don't forget it's still Liverpool and they're still one of the best team in the last few years. So even if they're not in form right now, that they could get back there and start scoring these goals. So if you
Hmm.
do have
Hmm.
Diaz, I would say keep him for now and see what he do against Arsenal. If things are starting to look a bit better for Liverpool, then I would say keep him because from game week 12 it start to be very good for Liverpool and there you can get a lot of points from him.
Yeah, you can actually argue and say, okay, I can put Diaz out and get someone else if you don't already have him, let's say a Madison. And it's definitely not the wrong thing to do. However, in the same time, if you're gonna do this for game week 12, take Diaz out, and then game week 12. Sorry, if take Diaz out game week 10, and then bring him back game week 12, it's just a waste of two transfers.
True, true.
Okay, so according to everybody's own strategy, but if you're planning to have Liverpool players starting game week 12, I think Diaz is a very good choice. And if he's already in your team, I wouldn't necessarily take him out.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. All right, guys, so let's move on to the next category, which is the sell, and let's see who we have there.
Okay, so for our still category, we only have one player and one player only, and this will be Grosh. I'm actually very surprised to see that at this point in time, there's still 22%, 22.1% of the managers that still own him. He had an amazing start of the season. Nobody can doubt that.
Yeah,
But it's no longer happening. For the past few game weeks, he didn't show the good attacking positioning that he showed at the very beginning. That's one thing. Second thing, Graham Potter left the team, so we don't know whether or not he will find his form in the Brighton team. Now there is a slightly different approach in the attacking method, and overall he's priced at 5.9. So I think you can either if you have some additional funds in the bank, you can either upgrade him to a better 6.6 to 8 million midfielder, I would say, or you can just downgrade him to a 4.5 and use those funds elsewhere. Because to be honest, at this point in time, as good as a player as he is in real life, in real Premier League, in FPL at this point in time, it's not translating into points whatsoever.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, if you still have him, sell him and make better use of those funds.
Yeah, and also take a look at the fixtures that are coming up. Next one is Tottenham at home. Yes, at home, but it's Tottenham, so it's not a great fixtures for
Yeah,
him. And then Brentford. Brentford are not great defensively, so but it's also not gonna be an easy fixtures for Brighton.
it's an away match
Yeah,
still.
and also it's an away match, so it's not great. Nottingham Forest, I would say that's a pretty good chance of scoring there, but Trossard, I think he's the one who's been in form right now with the hat trick he scored in the last one. So I think that maybe Trossard could be the one that to target these days from Brighton, and then it's Manchester City away, which is an impossible match for Brighton. So I think overall, considering the fixtures and the form in the last few matches for Grosh, I don't think he's an FPL asset to keep at least for the next four. Then maybe
Hmm.
when if Brighton's fixtures turn around and we see like some green in there, then we can maybe consider getting him back. But I wouldn't be rushing in anyway, even if the fixtures are good.
Exactly. And by that time, by the time the fixtures are good, we will also get the chance to see how he plays under the new manager.
Indeed, indeed. So we have some time to reassess the situation.
Yep.
Okay, guys, so that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you do, just drop us a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And please, if you have any feedback or any comments, please leave us a comment below, and we'll be replying to you as soon as possible. Have a great day, and we will be seeing you soon.
All right. Cheers, everybody.